addiction.
Pain.
We run the clock, Super 16, it's the cream of the crop. College football time of year, don't stop.
We're adding this guy.
Just another go dome with the courage, heart, skill, and will. Bringing you the best 16, serving up a plate for the football fiends. Breaking the best 16 college teams. Football fans, it's the show of your dreams.
Ain't no bias, Chris Zorich breaking truth. Traded in the golden helmet in the past for a suit. With the tape, never lies, college ball, he's astute. Ranking the top 16, not the top 32.
I don't mean to cut you off like a Zorich jersey, but you ain't really grinding unless the jersey dirty. Hit the running back like a Mack truck behind the 30-yard line. It's game time, my team riding off the sideline.
You look at Chris like this with a fact checklist, going over college teams like a 50 scientist. Steve streaking from his head like in his playing days. Super 16 polls on the show straight away.
It's the FBS, the best of the best from the ACC to the SEC. Pac-12, Big 10, Mountain West, Sun Belt, and the Big 12. Open your eyelids, who the best like Khaled? Super 16 is the cream of the crop. College football time of year, don't stop. With Christopher Zorich, just another go dome with the courage, heart, skill, and will. Bringing you the best 16, serving up a plate for the football fiends. Breaking the best 16 college teams. Football fans, it's the show of your dreams.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Super 16 Poll Show. This is week 2, and as you can see, I'm still proud of our Fighting Irish, even though it was a horrendous game, but I will have that breakdown later for you.
Number 47, Notre Dame.
Number 40. So this is the first time, Phil, you can jump in here. This is the first time Notre Dame has not been in the top 25 in like 1,000 years.
Oh my God.
I actually think it's like 60, but it's like 1,000 years.
1,000 years.
1,000 years, yes.
1,000 years.
Yes.
Ancient alien type years.
Yes.
Notre Dame has not.
Yes.
No, number 47.
That was hilarious. Thank you very much for that.
We're going to play it again later,
No,
but
you don't have to.
I had to surprise you.
Yes. That
I
was a very big
appreciate
surprise.
you still rocking the swag of Notre Dame.
The shirt. It's the shirt that you wear, you know, the first game of the year. Apparently I didn't have it on that day. However, I had some other responsibilities, which was actually pretty cool.
Give me that take photos on another phone too.
I know.
I got you.
This is a new thing
there
they
he
started.
There he
With
is.
having a alumni analyst from each team there, and NBC chose me to do it. I'm sure it's because they've seen this show, so they understand that. It has to be.
It definitely has to be because of that.
They realize that I do have some football knowledge, some college football knowledge, and it was great because I had a chance to hang out with
Ahmad Bradshaw,
who apparently his rings were literally took up his whole hand. My itty bitty national championship ring could actually fit inside his Super Bowl ring. My shit was that small. So, but I mean, I digress. And I was rocking the kilt.
The kilt.
I got
the kilt heard round the world, bro.
Well, here's the thing, man. So that was totally kind of unexpected. I wasn't planning on it. They talked about showing some spirit, which I was going to do, and then my boy Jerry Kennedy had about 4 kilts with him that he was going to tailgate with. And he was like, Chris, what about this? And I'm like, yeah, you kidding me? That's a skirt. I'm not going to wear a kilt. And then all of a sudden, 5 minutes later, I was like, they said spirit. So it was the perfect color, matching my shirt and everything. And I went out there and rocked it.
Dude, you were brave. I don't think I could have done it.
Yeah, you could.
But you did it.
It's just a couple million people watching. What the hell, right?
I didn't know you were on the live actual show broadcast because I was traveling. And I'm so pissed. I would have been texting you like, can you sneak in? The tape never lies, Coach.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, that would have definitely helped.
It probably would have changed the course
of the whole game.
The whole game would have.
Which I cannot wait to talk to later. But I know you have some awesome news you'd like to talk about.
Oh yes, Chris. Awesome.
Well, hold on now. I'm still thinking about this. This is 104 for Cap's illustrious $5,000 dinner for the whole TTNL.
Exactly.
Staff.
So we're 1 in. So
yes,
only
right.
3 to go till Detroit.
Right.
So I already texted Cap this morning.
You pissed?
And I go, 1 down.
1 down.
3 more to go. And he, to his credit, hearted it. And I know he was doing his show. I try not to bother anybody on their shows, but everybody's doing shows now. Everyone's got a show. Chris is on national TV.
Well, hey, man.
Kill Who's Better Than You? And now you're on the Super 16 Poll show.
There you go.
But yes, Chris, as I was fired up, I guess I'm too fired up for some Bears fans.
What?
They just want to be floating on the seas of parades of winning one game.
Come on, man. A win's a win. Just celebrate the damn thing. Come on, man.
I want to celebrate it, but I also have to call out some of the negative things because been right.
Absolutely. Like the rain.
The rain, the puddles, the play calling, the gun runs. Your former tight end there not blocking as well as you said. So I guess that ruffled feathers, but I guess they don't know me because I don't care. I'm always going to look for the best for the Chicago Bears. And that victory, albeit huge, that's how you want to kick off a season. And you saw the culture, you saw the coaching, and then buying into the culture of what most of, I wouldn't say all of our guests, but most of our guests, including people in the national media that we've had on our show, keeping it 100 throughout the offseason, kind of snickered at Coach Eberflus and his hits philosophy, where we were embracing it because we knew how bent out of shape the culture was. And then you also saw you sharing the reality of truth in regards to what has happened historically, culturally, with the Chicago Bears. So it's not like I'm barking up the wrong tree. You have to build on this win. And I believe the hustle hits philosophy, hustle, intensity, turnovers, scoring is important. And you saw it on display. If it wasn't for Eddie Jackson's turnover, how does that game play out? If it wasn't for Jalen Johnson's turnover, punching the ball out, wearing number 33, it was kind of ironic. I know you can hear my son fighting. He doesn't want to do homework, Chris.
Who does?
Want that Notre Dame education. You ain't going to Notre Dame. But yes, a big win for the Chicago Bears. And
well, Phil, hold on. Now, I also think that a lot of people don't like the whole hits thing is because they always think about college. They hustle, and they just assume that the pros, they always do that. Well, sometimes they don't. And so you have to talk about that. You have to talk about going back to fundamentals. Sometimes you have to talk about running. You have to talk about getting that enthusiasm during practice and things like that. And folks don't want to hear that because that's kind of like your old school college or high school coach. Hey, run to the ball. Well, guess what? When you run the ball, good things happen.
Dude, I can't express how many years, because I was on an old network before that and I preached this and I kind of got laughed at because it's what you said, that same kind of mentality over there, that's old school. You can't get pros to buy into. I go, bullshit, you can't. the head coach sets the tone.
Right.
It doesn't matter what Bill Parcells is an example of that. Bill Walsh. You think they were loafing on Walsh's watch? No, they weren't. But he built a belief system, and I said this on our show, and I think Eberflus is tapping into that, and you could see it. The guy I had the most reservations for, Chris, was Eddie Jackson from Alabama.
Right.
And he has embraced this because you know what? Some human beings need to be pushed. They might have reached a certain level, or they thought themselves a certain way. And then all of a sudden you get this old man, this guy with a gray beard yelling at you and really coming from a place where he wants what's best for you.
Right.
Because what's best for you is essentially what's best for the team.
Of course.
So if you have this kind of energy where you don't let anything go, you don't let this guy loaf, you don't let that guy loaf, and it becomes a culture. I said it way back when, before they even hired Eberflus. Give me a guy. We talked about Jim Harbaugh because we knew he was maniacal,
right,
and that he was going to get the most out of everybody. And if you didn't like it, get out. Right. Get out. And that's really the reality of where these guys are going. And to my point, Eddie Jackson makes just a tremendous play. A lot of people were clowning on him because he got run over into the end zone, but it was the defensive end's responsibility to at least, you going against Deebo Samuel with Deebo having a 6-yard sprint at you.
Right.
Sometimes you're going to lose that. It's the game of football. Low man wins, but sometimes the strong. I mean, you saw Saquon Barkley. Was he going to go down there on that 2 point? No, he wasn't. I don't care who was in front of him. Maybe Zorich would have stopped him.
Nice.
But the discipline, as Logan is saying, and my father said this to me when I first started coaching, Chris. He said, I don't care. We lived in a 2 high school town, and we were on the wrong side of the athletic tracks.
Okay.
So we were working with a bunch of kids that never played. Where the Pop Warner kids, they all went to the other side of town.
Right.
Now you're teaching these kids from freshmen and every now and then you get a kid that has some athletic talent, but you're basically teaching and teaching and teaching. So what do you got to do to win games? A, you got to teach. B, you have to be in tremendous condition. Because of your point, if you hustle, if you are physical and you tackle, you will win games. It is something. And if you are in the NFL and you can get that, you're going to be cooking with gas there. And I think the Chicago, and I said this, Shane said it, we are big believers in it. The reality is this culture is going to be built on that track shoe. Get your track shoes ready comment. It's got to continue, though. So you go through this season, and next season it's the same thing. So now all of a sudden you've got these pillar pieces in place, whether it be, if you re-sign Roquan or whatever, he sets the tone and the expectation for everybody looking around. Oh, shit. Just like you as a rookie going in, you see Richard Dent and all these guys slacking off, then you're going to be like, I guess I could slack off. I thought I was going to come here and work my butt off, but Wani's running a camp for counselors here. So we're doing this. And then the culture drops. So it's got to be consistent. First game, San Francisco, all the hype. A lot of people are going to point to the rain, but both teams are playing in the rain. A lot of people are going to point to a lot of different things. A rookie quarterback, a guy playing. Well, Justin was a rookie with a neglectful coach. It was a beautiful thing to see the Chicago Bears come out on top. And one last point, and I think we all can attest to this. I said it to Claudio. I know Shane mentioned Carr's texting the same kind of thing to him. I've been watching the Bears my whole life, and I see these games, and I see them losing, come back, and then fumble and lose.
And then lose.
Right?
That's the whole thing, right?
The whole thing. Yesterday, there was no letdown because they were in tremendous condition. They believed, and they were disciplined. and they played the game out and finished.
Sure.
And then you could dive. There was no
Right.
club dub. It was a swamp dive.
Thank
Soldier
God.
Field swamp dive.
Thank God there was no club though.
Exactly. So great start for the Bears. And again, today I was listening to his presser. I know I said that was the last thing,
That's okay.
but
I'm used to you.
I loved the fact that he had everybody in the room, practice squad, taxi squad, whatever he called them, veteran squad, everybody watching the tape, grading everyone. He gives a sheet out, Chris. This is how many loafs you did in the game. This is the time frame with which we caught you loafing. So that tells me not only are you on top of it, those coaches are going back, they're watching the tape. Each position coach is grading these guys, handing it in. Head coach is looking at the tape. Yep, this guy's low. Now you're being held accountable
In front of the whole team.
in front of the whole team. And that's how it should be. That's how it always should be, because there's no bigger motivator than your peer.
Sure.
There's no bigger. No one wants to be laughed at in front of their peers. Just ask Jackal. He can tell you all about that.
Here's the funny thing about it. And you look at kind of the salaries in that room.
Yeah.
And you think about, oh, well, this person's a professional athlete. He won't loaf. You think this, you think that. And in reality, guys do. And oftentimes, if the play isn't going their way, they may kind of take a little jog or something like that, right?
Exactly.
Well, now you're able to kind of hold everybody accountable, which is so easy, right? I mean, and if other coaches did this, you would think they would, because it's so easy. All he had to do was ask each position coach, hey, watch your guy. When he loafs, let me know.
Exactly.
I mean, how hard is that? And so now the coach is able to put together his own film, his own tape of guys loafing. And I guarantee you, let's say it was 16 guys who are loafing.
Yeah.
Next game, it'll be 8.
Exactly.
Next game, it'll be 4. After that, guess what? No one's loafing. And that didn't take you yelling at anybody. That didn't take you calling somebody in the office, you finding somebody. All that did, as you mentioned, all it did was use that peer influence over guys that are making, a gazillion dollars a year.
Chris, when I met, I don't want to word this because I don't want to be too, but when I went and visited my Uncle Sam Rutigliano, who coached the Cleveland Browns in the late 70s, early 80s, the Cardiac Kids, we were eating dinner, and it's like one of the first time, as a man, as a father, that I'm talking with him, because I always saw him when I was young. Mm-hmm. Now I'm a man. So we're talking. He's like, Philip, there's a lot of shoe salesmen in the NFL. You can't believe these are old school boy friends, hired friends. They don't know football. They don't know football and technique and teaching and effort and energy and account. They don't know any of that stuff. Like, I could hire you tomorrow. You would run circles around these guys. The simple things go unnoticed. It's the simple things that accountability does, and peer pressure and that kind of stuff that get motivating factors out of these players. It's the key.
Right.
And if you are the real leader of men, think about Lawrence Taylor. Nobody was a better pass rusher that I've seen than him.
Sure.
Right? I've never seen it. I mean, that guy could flip a switch like nobody. But Bill Parcells knew how to put that pressure on him in front of his peers. He talks about it. He knew how to push the buttons to get the most out of him. Now, you could say whatever it is you want about him in his personal life, but everybody has their demons.
Sure.
But the reality of the football player is motivated by that coach, and he could be considered the Michael Jordan of pass rushers.
Okay.
He still needed somebody to
Right.
push his ass to get him there, and he'll tell you that. If it wasn't for Parcells, he'd probably be out of the league. One of those, you know him, and I know him, big for nothings. athletic for nothings, right? Probably the best player I ever coached. Didn't want to work. Where is he now? I don't even know where he is. We know these guys. And unfortunately, we say it in life. The parents are 85% of the problem.
Right, exactly.
Oh, my son is so good. Why doesn't he play? How much does he study his plays?
Right.
No. Exactly. That's why. These things will forever be whatever. I get fired up with it, Chris, but
as you should. I love it.
I think Coach Eberflus, finally, we're in good hands with the head coach. There's certain things that I'm going to criticize Coach Eberflus with. He should have went for 2 based on the math. The math should have said 2. But you're 19, right? 19 to 10. It's already a 2-possession game, so you win nothing or lose nothing if you kick a field goal, which you missed. It wasn't hindsight. It was go for 2 and be up 21-10.
Right.
Or 20-10, excuse me, 20-10.
That's okay. You went to hospital, that's right.
Little Ivy. Hofstra might have beat Notre Dame yesterday.
Oh!
Number 47, Notre Dame.
Wow. Thank you very much, Shane. I appreciate that. How
did you know Shane had a hand in
was
that?
it Jeremiah that put that up that said that Phil's kid is gonna if he doesn't study he's gonna go to Alabama? That was that was something I saw, under I understand.
That was McLaughlin. Jeffrey.
You,
yeah. He's an Irish kid.
Hey, there you go. Sorry, Jeffrey. Thank you.
Jeff's a big fan of you, Chris Zorich.
I
met a lot of big Chris Zorich fans this weekend.
Hey, the store while you're shopping while I was on national television in a kilt. Is that what you're saying?
No, I coached my son. They had a jamboree flag football game.
Nice.
On Saturday morning. Then they did great.
Okay.
Tate moved Tate to quarterback. He threw 3 touchdown passes.
The coach's son is the quarterback? Okay.
Listen, hey, I'm the assistant coach.
Oh, okay. Now you're the assistant. Okay, all right. Okay. All right.
I was impressed with my own son in that.
Of course
I didn't think he could do.
Did you just talk about parents that said, like, oh my God?
I'm not that guy, though. Like, if my other son,
not.
Chris,
you
my
pull
son.
You pull some strings to get your kid to be the starting quarterback. I don't know. I'm just saying.
My other son runs counter, breaks it for like 30, and twists his ankle. And he's yelling at me on the field. So there you go, Chris. It's your fault.
It's your fault, Dad.
My fault.
You got me running this counter. It's your fault. I sprained my ankle. It's your fault.
He wouldn't get up. I had to carry him. It was a whole thing. So,
oh my gosh.
Before you give me the Snagglesworth or whatever.
The business?
The business.
Before I give you the business.
So hopefully Devin will be good this weekend. They play their first games Saturday morning. So then I was doing that. Then Steph had this thought of getting another dog. That's where I was. But I was watching Notre Dame on my phone, but the connection kept going in and out on the Peacock app. Sorry, Peacock.
Sorry, I didn't have any. I was just on the Peacock network. I don't have any control over it. I'm sorry.
Yes. And I didn't get to see you one time during that. Thankfully, I thought it was like a special. I thought it was like a special. I do want to say I like Coach. I just lost his name. Former Ivy League quarterback, Dallas Cowboy backup quarterback. Former Dallas Cowboy head coach. What's his name on the broadcast? Jason Garrett.
Yeah, coach.
Did a great job on the broadcast of Notre Dame.
Yes, he did.
So there you go.
And so did Jack.
I like Jason Garrett. Yeah, Jack. How
They both did well.
okay.
Well, hey man, I'm part of the network,
Listen.
though, so you know.
You're part of the network.
Right. The
I don't want to say
NBC
anything
network.
bad.
Thank you.
NBC and TTNL. You're everywhere. You're everywhere. You're also ranking college football. Hello. I don't know how I didn't remember Coach Jason Garrett.
First of all, before we get into it, last week I said that this is going to be just another boring week of teams playing people they shouldn't be playing. Oh my God, was I 1,000% wrong? I got a whole Sun Belt section. I mean, this is probably one of the most exciting weekends. Yes, the Sun Belt. Who the hell
Sun Belt, baby.
Yes, exactly.
The Sun Belt.
Thank you.
Where's that picture? I was looking for the here it is.
Picture?
There they are.
Oh, hello.
The Zoriches.
There you go.
There's
That's
the
my wifey.
There's the kilt.
There's the kilt. That was pregame, so I had to.
Did you have a couple drinks, or did you stay away from the drink because you were going on?
I had one.
TV?
I had one.
All right.
I had one drink.
Loosen up. Loosen you up.
Had to loosen up a little bit. I had a little cigar.
Did you think of me like Phil's going to be
shoes?
Going to be breaking my balls?
What was I thinking about you? Yeah. That's exactly what I was doing. I was thinking about you. Yeah, that's exactly. Sitting there with my hot ass wife. The Notre Dame game. And I'm thinking about you.
She is exactly. You outkicked your coverage, and you don't even play special teams.
Definitely, I keep my coverage. Definitely.
So you had fun at least, though. There,
I did. Oh, absolutely. Had a chance to hang out with some folks. But what I wanted to say though was that how exciting was Saturday? I mean, it was just absolutely insane. I mean, like literally from the beginning of the day to the end. So it was. Oh, shit. I wonder what she's talking about. Maybe you kicked your coverage as well?
I believe that's what she's saying.
Oh, I see. Okay.
But at least we both could admit that.
Yes.
So it's good.
It takes a man to admit that they outkicked their coverage. See?
Yes. I've had the pleasure of meeting your beautiful wife, and she's very beautiful inside and out.
And I had a chance to meet beautiful Steph as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, exactly.
There we go.
Okay, that was the mutual admiration club we just had this. So let's talk some goddamn football, okay?
Talk some football, baby.
Hello.
It's the greatest game.
Yes, it is.
What are you thinking, man? You want to kick off?
I just wanted to mention that because I want to be real, and I had some games that were like, I had the Alabama-Texas game, like I was like, but that won't be one of the best games.
Absolutely.
And I can't about that game.
Dude, Alabama-Texas was on while we're looking at the puppies. My wife, are you paying attention to the puppies?
Sure,
I'm like, no, I'm watching this game. I go, this is unbelievable. Of course, I was cheering for Texas, but we'll get into that later.
Yes,
if you're just tuning in, the 3-time All-American CBS Defensive Player of the Year, national champion, College Football Hall of Famer, Walter Camp, All-American's not even on there.
Well, wait, do we have can we write in there NBC
Sports analyst.
NBC Sports analyst. In a
TTNL analyst. College football analyst.
Hello.
Our guy.
Chris.
What's that?
I like that. Maybe we can put college football analyst now.
Yes, we can, since you have one under your belt, or your kilt, rather.
Hello. Under my kilt. However, I do want to know, I actually wimped out. I had shorts on underneath. But next week, I think I'm going to start a little tradition. Home games were kilts now. So next home game.
Well, you kilt their chances of getting to the playoffs. So
I killed them. Okay.
Make that a drop, please.
I killed them. Wow. That's so bad.
I'm laughing at my own joke. I apologize.
Yes, you are.
It was good, though.
That is bad.
You killed them.
Thank you, Jeff.
Straight from New York. Straight from New York. Jeff, the list could be long. There you go. Here we go. Chris Zorich. It could be longer. He's right. There's so much to talk about when it comes to Chris Zorich. Chris, every week, though, comes on here in the Super 16 Poll Show. I think Chris is almost like the identifier. You know how like CVS, Walmart, all these, they start putting up Halloween stuff in August. Chris is that identifier, that point when you know football is back. The Super 16 Poll Show gets the tone started, gets it going. Chris, you wanted to say anything else because you were freezing. That's why I'm talking so much.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Well, that's the reason why. I'm pretty sure it's not all the time that you do that. People don't freeze all the time, Phil. It's just hard to shut their ass up.
I got to get you an Orbi internet system for you, the Wi-Fi system.
I do have that.
You do?
Yes, it's the mesh system. I got it.
The Orbi one, though?
Yes, the Orbi. There's only one company called Orbi.
Well, it's actually Netgear, but the Orbi is their prime. So you have that?
Mesh system, yes.
I don't understand why you're freezing right now.
Maybe because everybody's just trying to calm me, or they're all trying to.
Oh yeah.
Stay on the show. Is that what it is?
I would think so.
Okay, there we go.
There he is.
Let's get this thing started, man. Let's go.
You ready?
Yes.
Number 16. You ready to rock?
Number 4. Let's start with number 47.
Number 47.
Number 47. Notre Dame.
Ooh, as I said, the first time they have not been in the rankings since for the last 80 years. So,
do you want to talk about the game quick since they are number 47?
I will. No.
Oh, you're going to do it later.
That's later. Yes.
Okay. All right. Wow. Number 47 on your board. Maybe number 1 in your heart, but number 47 on the Super 16 Poll Show. Let's go to number 6. Let's jump ahead. Go to number 16.
Number 16. Appalachian State.
Hello. What the hell is going on at App State, dude? First of all, they interviewed the guy after the game. He was awesome. And then he threw it out. He threw the gauntlet out there. He said, we'll play anybody, anywhere.
I love it.
Dude, no one's going to want to play them again. Are you kidding me? And here's the reason why. So, first of all, my boy Rick had to be totally excited. I know Cherie's excited about this because now no one's going to talk about App State, Michigan, right? They're going to talk about App State, Texas A&M now. So I know those guys are pumped about that. But here's the thing, and this is something that a lot of folks might not know. As an administrator, having the chance to work at Notre Dame, having been on the football scheduling committee, they pay the smaller schools tons of money to come play them, just as Notre Dame paid Marshall to come. But Texas A&M paid App State probably over $1 million to come in and play them and get that win. Oh, it was. Oh,
yes, $1.25 million. Yeah,
there you go.
They paid him $1.25 million
to spank that ass.
Yeah, that's the running joke, to come in there and beat that ass. But that's what you got to do to get these guys. I want to ask you though, how do you think Jimbo Fisher, boy over there, Nick Saban, had to be feeling a little bit better after the Texas game when he saw the apps?
Jacked. Are you kidding me? He was jacked after seeing that score. First of all, he wiped his brow like, "Oh my God, I can't believe I survived this."
Yes.
And then he was like, "Yeah, buddy, yeah." So now, of course, that game now, and I think I even mentioned it last week. I mean, now that game, I think it's October 10th or something like that. Really isn't that big of a deal because, I mean,
all the hype on Texas A&M.
Is that hilarious?
All the recruiting hype, all that hype.
I mean, Texas A&M is not it's an extremely hard place to play. I mean, they have the whole 12-man thing. They got the whole thing the night before the game. I mean, that's on my bucket list.
Yeah,
to go down to College Station. That's College Station, right?
Yes, it is. To
go and experience kind of that experience. So the idea that this ragtag team went down there from the Sun Belt, went down there and spanked that ass. And that's crazy. Crazy.
Outrageous. I kept checking the score to see. And sure enough, by the time I got to my father's house later that evening, he was so excited about App State. Can you believe it? It's just one of those stories. And to your point, it's like the bookmark now has moved up. Now it's Texas A&M. It's no longer Michigan. That's too far away now. App State.
Here's the downfall for them, though. And this is going to be the hard thing, is that now no one's going to want to play them, right? So that buy money that they go out and enjoy, that will instantly kind of.
Do you think they can publicize their efforts to try to play some of these teams?
Well, and I'm sure they will, but at the end of the day, I mean, no one's going to call them anymore. No one wants to be the highlight of SportsCenter on ESPN getting their ass kicked by App State, who's in the Sun Belt. It just doesn't happen.
You're right.
Which is why he threw it out that, hey, we'll play anybody anywhere, because now that money's drying up, you know? Right. And I think I looked at the schedule. I think they only have 2 bye games this year, which I think in the past they've had like 3. So it's already hard for them to kind of get those opportunities. But I mean, even if you look at last week against North Carolina, they almost beat them.
Right.
That's why they're ranked in my poll, because I think they deserve to be there. Are you kidding me?
Zorich putting them at number 16.
Absolutely amazing. And on top of that, game day is going to freaking be there, man. And I don't know if I saw a whole bunch of stuff. My boy Keith sent me something that they were partying in, Boone, North Carolina?
Yeah.
And dude, they're like partying in the streets and stuff. That was hilarious.
It's crazy, to be honest. They play Troy.
Yes.
This week. Then the 24th, James Madison. I played James Madison.
How do you think? Dude, game day is going to be down there. Everybody in the 3 counties around them, they're going to be there. They're going to have the largest audience ever.
Unbelievable story. College football. It never disappoints. Neither will it do it here. App State debuts on the Zorich poll.
There we go. Very excited.
Number 16. Let's go to number 15.
Number 15, Tennessee.
Now, these guys are also new to the poll.
Yes, they are.
They wound up playing a great game as well. I was shocked. Didn't think it was going to happen. I know Pitt was. They're supposed to be really good this year, but it was incredible, man. And here's the thing, man. Pitt had 2 really back-to-back good games, man. They had the backyard brawl.
Yep.
And they had this game. I mean, it's going to be a rough season for them, but I mean, it was exciting to watch. I mean, these were games that I was like, but wound up being a good game, man.
Were you able, because you were at Notre Dame, were you in the parking lot, or did you go over to the Zorich Experience House?
I was all over. I was on the field. We were watching in the green room. I saw Alabama in the green room. I was in the parking lot again. I was at the game. I mean, I was all over.
Oh, you were all over the place.
Yes, I was.
Green room. Look at you. Did they feed you well in the green room?
Oh, yes, they did.
Jesus.
Hey, man.
Didn't call your boy to come join you, I see.
Well, because
you were busy with the puppies.
You were looking at puppies. Aww.
Listen, did you see Edwin? He's saying that he's telling you, he's guaranteeing Notre Dame will go 10-2.
Oh, I love it.
Mark my words.
Okay, Edwin. I got you, my brother.
You don't even have to tell me. He sees you now, Edwin.
I'm just concentrating on Cal, man. I'm just concentrating on Cal.
Now, honestly, are you worried, though, about the coach in regards to what you saw with Scott Frost?
2 games. Come on.
I'm asking because
first of all, Scott Frost lost a whole bunch of games.
Yes, he lost last season.
2. I'm sorry, he lost 3. as the head coach. He lost 3 games. Really?
He's 0 for 3 as a head coach.
That is, oh wow, that's correct. That means what happens when you lose 3 games. Yes, you're 0-3.
Yeah.
Why would you think he'd get fired after 3? There's no way it's going to happen.
I want you to speak on it.
Well,
Speak
first
to
of
the
all, Lou Holtz's first year, he lost 7 games. He was 5-7 his first year.
This team comes into this is my pushback. This team comes in ranked number 5. However, you said it. You thought that was a little too high. You
Very
put
high.
them at number 7. They go out there. They lose their first opener to Ohio State. It wasn't like they played poorly and got blown out 58-6 or something. It felt like they were battling in that. We saw moments, and then they come back next week at home against Marshall of the Sun Belt Conference, and you expect them to lay the wood, lay the lumber, dominate, show who you are, and they don't. So a lot of alumni.
So since we're going to talk about it, you want to talk about it now, we can.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Kept popping up here.
I mean, you want to know, I understand. So here's my take on it. So surprisingly enough, if you watched my comments after the NBC national broadcast when I was wearing a kilt, remember that?
Yes.
I mentioned poor tackling, missed tackles, offensive defensive line did horrible, and they had way too many turnovers, and they had 219 yards rushing. So you combine all that, you're going to lose. And what does Marcus say in the press conference? Like about 5 minutes after I said it, not that he was listening to what I said, but 5 minutes after that, he talked about offensive defensive line were horrible. They obviously have to improve. But the first thing that he did say, which I give him a lot of credit, is that this is Notre Dame's team. I'm the head coach here, so the loss is on my shoulders. I'm taking full responsibility, which we've historically that has not been the case. So that was a really good point. But then he started to talk about, the inefficiencies that happened during the game, right? I mean, you can't have a pick 6. You can't have 3 turnovers and expect to win.
I totally
You can't
agree.
allow 219 yards rushing and
3
expect to win.
turnovers. The quarterback.
To a team that was unranked, unheard of, right? So it's also the idea of them spending, I don't know how many days after the loss to Oklahoma State in the bowl game to 2 weeks ago, it was all Ohio State. And Marcus went there. So there's a lot of hype. There was a lot going on riding on that game. So they spent the whole offseason talking about that. I mean, they're running gassers, and they ended it with, beat Ohio State or whatever it was, right? So you come close in that game, but you lose. You're upset. This is an emotional high, and now you got to play Marshall. Like, wow! Like,
How do you get those players up for that?
It's tough, and that responsibility is to the coaches. I mean, I will talk about that as well. And as far as the coaches go, understanding that a lot of the staff is brand new, okay, to the ND environment. Yes, we have a lot of experience there, but the hype that comes around Notre Dame is no joke. I mean, you have your own damn TV station, okay? So the idea that you have to be on every week, regardless of who you're playing, is something that's very serious. I mean, you are going to get the best of Navy. You're going to get the best of Marshall. You're going to get the best of Cal. You're going to get the best teams in the country, the best teams, the best out of the teams that come and play you. I don't care who they are. So that's another factor. I'm not making excuses. I mean, it's the coach's fault for not getting them ready. But the idea that they're in a new environment where everything is win or lose for them, and I think the players were kind of on that emotional roller coaster after that huge loss to Ohio State, after they thought they were going to win, right? Because they went to that locker room up, and I know that in the back of their minds they were like, "What the hell? wait a minute, we weren't supposed to be up. Whoa, shit, we weren't supposed to be up. What the hell's going on? And then, of course, the coach has to kind of diffuse that. 0-0, you go out there, and I was like, well, hey, now we know we can stand with these guys. All of a sudden, they just start rolling on them, just beat the crap out of them in the second half. So that was kind of an emotional, what word am I looking for? An emotional kind of
letdown.
Exactly, because they felt that they were in the game after they didn't think they were going to be in it. And then all of a sudden they lose that game, and so they come back from Marshall. I mean, who's Marshall, right? I mean, who's the Sun Belt? Well, guess what? And I said it on the broadcast. I said it halftime and at the end of the game. The better team won this afternoon, right? Okay, that's evident. And Marshall wanted it more. Notre Dame didn't.
Right.
Man, there were some of those plays, I think, in the second touchdown that Marshall scored. Notre Dame's whole defensive line was in the end zone, like on their back, like they're doing like the upside down turtle thing. Because I mean, their offensive line was dominating them.
Dang.
Are you kidding me? So, I mean,
a lot of people are gonna have to wake up.
Well, and again, that's Marcus's job, right? And he took that responsibility and said that, hey, this is my fault. I'm the head coach here. But I would like to kind of say that there were some instances where we didn't perform as we should have. And, I think the challenge is going to be getting these kids ready. And the fact that no coach in the history of Notre Dame has gone 0-3 their first year, which is kind of interesting, but they have a chance to go and be great. It's just they're going to have a kick-ass practice tonight, tomorrow, the next day, and go and just not worry about any of this other bullshit that's going on that people are talking about them. Not being in the rankings for 80 years. All this stuff is just hearsay crap that shouldn't even be talked about. I mean, if I was Marcus, I'd try to hook up something. I would talk to my media staff to shut down all the cell phones as soon as you walk into the building. Or something, because you don't want these kids to hear any of the outside stuff that's going on. Because if you do start listening to it, then you're going to feel like you're a loser.
And the other thing is Cal coming in, Marshall, we could beat these guys. Now you're going to get a motivated Cal. They become
absolutely.
It's like the New York Yankees. They become everybody's
exact
Super Bowl.
Exact
same thing.
That's absolutely it. You think? I mean, Marshall, dude, they were pumped. The coach was pumped, as they should be.
Yeah,
they came in their house. We paid them a shit ton of money to play them.
Yeah,
we got them to come over in South Bend, Indiana, so we could beat them, and they spanked that ass.
I don't know, Rudy or We Are Marshall, which movie is better, but all of a sudden we had the Marshall Notre Dame face-off, and as Chris is telling you, I told you from jump last season, we're in season 2. Chris doesn't play bias. It says it in the song. Ain't no bias. Chris Zorich preaching truth.
Gotta be real. I mean,
Gotta real.
It's the same thing with us. I mean, when we won the national championship, there were a couple of games, that were close. Hey, it happens. Move on.
Yes,
but
you learn from it.
Exactly. And I think that Coach Freeman has the type of attitude and the staff that these guys will learn from it, and they'll have a chance to kind of see what happens when you aren't the favorite son, right? Because now, I mean, everybody was loving on Marcus, everybody was loving Notre Dame. People that hated Notre Dame, people that didn't even know anything about Notre Dame, was loving Marcus coming in the locker room. Now all of a sudden, guess what? You got a whole nation that hates your ass.
How are you going to respond?
Exactly. And that's what I think is great. And I mentioned this toward the end of my interview that I was on NBC National during the game with like 11 million people watching.
With your kilt.
With my kilt on, exactly. Yes. So I did kilt it in my kilt. I talk about leadership. And this is the time when true leaders rise, right? Because everybody could be a leader when they're winning, high-fiving and slapping people on the butt. Hey, man, we got this. Well, y'all just won 56-0. Yeah, y'all got it.
Yeah.
But when the chips are down, right?
The adversity comes.
When adversity kind of slaps you right in the face, what do you do? How do you respond? And that's I'm kind of looking at it, man. I'm getting chills, man. That's what I'm excited about because I want to see how Notre Dame is going to respond. I want to see how Marcus Freeman's going to respond. I want to see how some of these defensive and offensive linemen are going to respond to basically the nation saying that y'all suck.
It's gonna be
Let's go.
Amazing.
Let's go.
As we move forward. Now, number 14, Marshall. No.
Wow.
I kid. But you're 100% right. That's going to be amazing to watch as we go through this college football season. How not only Notre Dame, how does Texas A&M respond? How does
Alabama respond?
How does Alabama respond? Have you found an ingredient from Sarkisian to see how to play Alabama?
Exactly.
All of this stuff, college football, man. Football is the greatest game. You can debate back and forth, but there's something so special about the traditions of college football. And traditionally here from 15, Russian Ronnie got it right this week. Go ahead.
One more thing.
Yeah.
You ask Notre Dame, you ask Texas A&M, and you ask Nebraska about teams beating anybody on every given Sunday, and you'd be like, are you kidding me? We're playing teams from the Sun Belt. We're playing Georgia Southern. We're playing Marshall. We're playing App State. Are you kidding me? We're Power 5 teams. We have great tradition. We can roll on people. Not a chance.
There's always a chance.
Always
a chance.
Always a chance. Rudy, always a chance, baby.
14.
Number 14, Baylor.
This is another freaking good game, man. This was 2 overtimes. And Baylor actually dropped 5 spots. I still got respect for Baylor. I think, was that on my end or was that you?
That was you.
That was me? What the hell was that?
Wasn't you on your end. It was you. Somebody just sent me something. I'm sorry. I didn't know.
Thanks. I'm sorry. I'm doing a show. I'm doing a Super 16 Polish over here. Sure, you want to jump in because apparently he'll have some other stuff to do.
Listen, I was just getting something for the show.
Sure.
I thought it was muted. I did not know it had audio.
Makes me even feel better that you're doing other things during our show. But hey,
I'm producing.
That is
quality.
That is fine. As
Quality
I was talking
control.
about Baylor,
yes,
still a very good team. Huge fan of the head coach, but I mean, I didn't have BYU ranked. It was a good game. Again, double overtime. I mean, this was like literally from the first game, which was Alabama, Texas, to what was the last game on Saturday? I forgot. I think I was falling asleep. It was crazy. Was it BYU?
BYU was late.
Okay, yeah.
USC was late.
Right. But I mean, it was just an exciting day. So we can move on to 13 because we got somebody else new in the poll.
Number 13, Kentucky.
How bad do you feel if you're Florida's head coach?
Oh my God!
So, I mean, you come from out of nowhere and spank BYU, and you're just like, hey, this is great. We're gonna play another SEC team. This is gonna be a regular Wednesday for us because who the hell is Kentucky? Say what? I mean, it was a good team.
Yeah. Kentucky is a good team.
A lot of people had Florida ranked.
They went from unranked
to like super ranked.
To super ranked.
Like but not 12. In the Super 16 poll show, baby.
No, baby.
And why is that? Because we tell the truth. Why? Because the truth never. Hear me out.
The truth The tape never lies.
I was going to
The
say
truth
The truth.
will set you free.
Wow. Oh, that's what you did. Oh, thank you, Suri. Thank you. Wow. Really? Okay. All right. All right.
It actually looks like you
That's
do
not
it.
your
Watch. Ready? It is
All
a
right. Okay.
top 10 drop.
Wow.
Gotta
Wow.
be
Thank
a
you
top
very
10
much. I
drop.
appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. That was about as good as
The
number
Notre
47.
Dame D line.
That was as good as number 47.
Number 47.
Yes, that was
Notre
very
Dame.
good.
I
That
think
was very good.
Edwin has him coming back.
Yes, he did. At least Edwin has faith. Thank
But
you,
Kentucky,
Edwin. I
man.
appreciate that.
Where were you going? Where were you going?
I was just
The
saying, man,
truth should set you
Kentucky-
free. What were you thinking?
Well, I
Seriously.
actually forgot. I was going to say the
So you're pinning it on me.
truth never lies, but I meant to say the tape never lies. So
Thank you.
you caught me there.
I keep
caught
it.
me.
I like that you kept it 100. That's what
I
love
tried
about
to. I tried to. But again,
Yeah.
I mean, the whole idea of Florida kind of bouncing back and kind of jumping in the fray, and then all of a sudden, thank you, Edwin. I appreciate that. Okay, watch out.
Watch out, Louisiana Monroe.
Oh, he's bad.
Yes. Where are you at with Kentucky?
I'm done with Kentucky.
No, but where do you think? What are your like? Do you think they're going
I'm
to
excited.
continue to? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
There's something
they have
about that
Youngstown
quarterback.
they got Youngstown State.
He's got some swag, that QB.
He did. He only had about 200 yards, but still, I mean, the idea that they were able to kind of overcome this great Florida team everybody thought about I think was good.
I think the Florida quarterback, they forced him to be something he's not.
Mhm.
And that's really what hurt Florida. He had to make some of those throws down the stretch, and he didn't.
Yeah.
That really.
Well, didn't they have another quarterback that left? Because I think he was at somewhere else, and he actually played really well. I forgot.
Chris,
where it was.
to keep track of all these quarterbacks.
Yeah, no kidding, dude.
It is crazy.
It was hilarious. So on the first game day, they had like this little kind of segment where they talked about they had a listing of all the quarterback spaces that went in the transfer portal.
Yeah.
There were like 60 of them. It was like, and they were saying somebody would pop up and he said, "Okay, where did he go?" And we're like, "Dude, no clue." I mean, there were so many moves.
It's like Plan B free agency turning to free agency.
Oh my god! Well,
Remember
and then
that?
I want to talk about when we talk about what the hell team was that? When we talk about man, the receiver.
I don't know. I
for
can't help
Pitt,
you out.
The receiver for Pitt that won the
Oh, he went to USC.
That's it, dude. When we talk about USC, oh my god,
That kid.
well, first of all, hold on. So let's get off of Kentucky. Let's go to number 12.
Let's go number 12.
Number 12. Ole Miss.
All right, this is our boy Lane Kiffin.
Lane.
He's just kind of being calm. He really hadn't made any crazy comments. He's just kind of laying back in the cut. They have Georgia Tech next week. He's still going to lay down the cut a little bit until he starts playing his arch nemesis. Then we'll kind of see some action. So, I mean, I'm excited about Ole Miss. Really didn't play anybody. I mean, they played Central Arkansas, which obviously they were supposed to win. So,
Right.
Nothing special about them. Let's move on to 11.
Number 11. Arkansas.
Now, I still love this team because the coach is a former offensive line coach, which you don't see very often.
Yes.
Love that. And, I mean, again, they want to play another SEC team, South Carolina, which is good, but they kind of knew they were going to win. So it really wasn't anything that great. But I'm loving the offensive line coach. And I think, what did we have them last year? I think their highest rank was like, it had to be like in the top 10 last year.
Yeah, you had them moving up because they really had Alabama on the ropes.
Yep.
And then they down the stretch, Traylon Burks and the quarterback there, number 5. What's this kid? He's growing into a better passer this year. Jefferson.
Yeah.
And he's I mean, that's a big boy.
Yeah.
Then they got the big tight end that he runs like a receiver. So it's like Arkansas has some things at their disposal. So when you have an offensive line coach or an offensive lineman who's your head coach, running the ball is going to be prideful.
Absolutely.
So this team, just like App State and those other ones, any given Saturday, Arkansas could come to town. They're my dark horse, man. I love what I'm seeing in Arkansas.
Love it.
I'm loving what I'm seeing in Arkansas. So I'm right with you here.
Nice.
Want to go to 10.
Number 10, Miami.
Now, this team, I mean, I am very excited about this. And I'm excited not only because we beat them for the national championship and they kicked our ass the next year, won the national championship, but I'm a huge Mario Cristobal fan. And the fact that they, on purpose, brought him back was just huge. They actually brought him back before they brought a new AD in. So I mean, that just tells you kind of like who kind of runs the show there. But the idea that he's getting former guys back, I mean, this is something that's going to be huge. You made the comment last week. You wonder if Luke is going to be back. He probably won't be back. But we have a lot of other players who
Luke was in the stands. He'll be in the stands, maybe.
Well,
before
Luke was on the sideline and in practice, so I'm pretty sure that's not gonna happen. I'm pretty sure it's not gonna happen anymore.
Yeah, I'm excited about them too.
And think about this: they have Texas A&M next, which I think is going to be a great game because you're going to have Texas A&M who's going to be pissed.
They're pissed,
and you have Miami who wants to prove. Because they just beat Southern Miss, which, so they have a chance to go out there and kind of prove that they belong on the national stage again. So it's going to be an exciting game.
Huge game here because of what you said. It was going to be big no matter what, but now you have an opponent that's on the ropes in Texas A&M, and you have an up-and-coming opponent. How do you say his last name again?
Cristobal.
How does he look in his crystal ball and attack?
I'm sure that's never been said before.
No, maybe I thought I had the copyrights to it.
Okay. That's okay.
Well, how's he going to attack this football team and use this motivation? Because you can't overlook the fact, like you said, they're going to be pissed and motivated. So you got to get your players ready on top of knowing that they are primed for the plucking. I don't care how ready they're pissed they are. You got to believe in who you are and what you do. And I don't want to ruin anything, but that's the game that I'm excited about watching this
and weekend. It's going to be at A&M.
Exactly. Back in the house. The 12th man. Is that at night, I hope?
I don't have the exact time on that.
Cherie, can you check Miami versus Texas A&M? What time? Let's go to number.
I'm pretty sure they moved it to the evening.
I hope so.
Let's go to number 9.
9.
Number 9, Michigan State University.
Hey. So apparently there's a blueprint, which is what the coach from Marshall did. He brought in 25 guys from the transfer portal that were at Power 5 schools. I don't think they were all from Power 5 schools, but the majority of them were. And they went out and they played. And he even commented on that after the game and said that this stage for the majority of those guys was nothing because they were at Power 5 schools before.
Exactly.
So the genius blueprint, the head coach in Michigan State, our buddy Mel Tucker, he had the blueprint. I mean, how many guys? He had like 40 guys or something like that.
Yeah. He had a bunch
9 p.m. Oh, wow.
9 p.m., Chris. Me and you'll be watching.
That's going to be hot, man.
We should go on and do a show watching it together sometime.
That's going to be hot. I'll be in my kilt.
You'll be in your kilt.
Yes.
That's going to be exciting. But Mel Tucker, Chris, he had a reputation around here that he was bad coach or whatever. He's been doing his thing there. Obviously,
$95 million. I don't think he's a bad coach. He was
I'm
the first
excited
one.
about him.
He was the first one to get it, man.
Mel Tucker.
He was the first one outside of that Nick Saban, Les Miles, all the
He is a
top
Nick
three guys.
Saban. Nick Saban loves Mel Tucker.
Yes, he should.
I can attest to that because I'm throwing my uncle. My uncle's very close to Coach Saban and Mel Tucker as well. And Mel was a protege of my uncle.
Nice.
So I always stuck up for Mel for the truth because he got put in a bad situation with Mark Trestman saying, listen, you got to run what they're used to here. And Mel, being who he is, was trying to accommodate the Bears veterans. But that's a whole nother story. But I know he got a bad rap in this town. And remember, he was in Jacksonville for a hot minute, taking over for a heady Jack Del Rio. And we saw what he did there. He was turning that team around, but Rich Gordon, that's the thing. He got put in a bad situation where players didn't want to play for Mel or Mark.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he forgot all about that because when you're
$95 million,
your $95 million check, I really don't thinking about like what happened a couple of years ago. I'm just saying.
Like 8 years ago now. He's
Okay,
long
so
gone
8
from
years
that.
ago,
You're
like
right.
right now, all he's thinking about doing is beating Akron, which he did 52-0. Right?
He beat Akron.
Point, just
Who do they got? Who do they got this week? And Washington. So that's going to be a good game.
Yes. See, so there are some challenging games out there, but that's. I mean, I'm excited to kind of see how he does year 2 after bringing in all those guys.
Let's go to number 7.
Number 7, USC.
How about number 8? But that's okay. So I'll just do number 8. Number 8. Oklahoma State.
Oh no!
What?
Did I skip it?
Yes, but
Number.
You're busy. You're busy texting.
No, there's no.
You're busy texting.
What happened? I think I
You
deleted.
just forgot to do it. That's all. See, because you're doing something else.
No, there's no 8 there. Look.
Okay.
3.
All right. No 8. Sure.
Can you attest?
There's no 8. Okay. All right. So I'll do it. So
serious.
Oklahoma State, number 8.
Oklahoma State. Number 8. Ronnie's gonna be upset again.
It's a Russian Ronnie, right? You gotta stop blaming him, man. Well, actually, he was supposed to be on the show, wasn't he? We were supposed to give him shit for.
Yeah, we were supposed to bring him on
a couple teams. Yep.
Maybe he's in the chat. Maybe he's in there.
Maybe.
Get him.
So
Oklahoma State.
Yes. So this is a team that actually a lot of people weren't too excited about last year. They were okay. Wound up having a chance to go to the bowl game, beat Notre Dame in the bowl game. Wound up stayed ranked in a couple of polls, and I liked them. I had them ranked higher than Notre Dame because guess what? They beat Notre Dame the year before. I didn't think Notre Dame deserved to be ranked 5, which they were in some national polls. So they were lower, and they keep winning. Wound up playing in an average Arizona State team, but now it's kind of they're going to play one of their push games, one of their pay games, and then they're going to go on to their season. But I'm hoping that Arkansas Pine Bluff is not in the Sun Belt because every team that's playing a team in the Sun Belt now is like on watch. They're like, oh, hell to the no. No, this is not happening. Not happening. So that was my number 8. So you want to go ahead and go to number 7?
Number 7, USC.
I tell you, man, I am stoked. I'm excited about USC. This is the first time I've been excited about USC in a long time. Although,
they were a rival back in the day, right?
I've never lost them, so I don't care. One of the things that people say, oh, Chris, and talk about Michigan and pretty. I'm like, when I played, I never lost to the Big Ten, so I'm good. So I get no problem with that. And I never lost to USC, so I'm really good about that. But that being said, the idea that they were able to bring the coach
Yeah.
Riley, and Caleb Williams. And I forgot about this until dude caught a pass in the game, but the receiver from Pitt, because his boy left, the quarterback left.
Yeah. Pickett.
He wound up rolling, and he goes to SC. And so now there's a receiver that was at Oklahoma. He followed Caleb and his coach.
They got a whole track squad over there.
So now all of a sudden, I was thinking about USC. I was like, I don't know about USC now. Dude, they're a contender now.
Dude, when I was a kid, just hearing that, I could just close my eyes, hear Brent Musburger or Keith Jackson, one of those two, talking about Notre Dame, USC, Nebraska, Alabama, and hearing, but USC's bum, 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 bum,
Yes.
bum, 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 bum. I used to just go crazy with that. And now it's back to, and Rich Gordon in the chat is saying exactly what I'm saying. When college football is so much better when USC is relevant. It really is. It's like the NFL with the Bears. Got to have that piece of the puzzle to make this stuff even greater. USC.
And it's those historical teams that have those historical wins in the pageantry. And, when was the last time you were really excited about a team from California, right? I mean,
exactly. It wasn't since Reggie Bush.
There you go, man.
Probably one of the greatest college games ever. Leinart, Vince Young battling with Reggie Bush. Remember that game?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So
I'm excited. So now they kind of have a chance to rest a little bit. They wound up beating Stanford, but then now they have a chance to play Fresno State. Are they the real deal? We'll see. That's not going to be a challenge for them, but they'll stay in the top rankings. And I think this is going to be good for college football because you're going to see a really good coach. I think Lincoln Riley is a good coach. I think he's going to enjoy, his family's going to enjoy the access to the jet we talked about last week, which is going to be great. So he doesn't have to worry about that. But also grabbing a Heisman candidate from Oklahoma to kind of follow him there. I think it's going to be, and plus he's in that environment in LA. So, man, there's going to be a lot of hype around this team.
It's going to be awesome seeing how this plays itself out, but the return so far has been impressive. We'll see how it goes.
And by the way, I mean, you have a receiver that won the top receiver award in the country, and he went to another school and chose to go to USC. There was a lot of the schools he could have gone to that had great quarterbacks.
Do you think Notre Dame could get a quarterback in the transfer portal?
Like tomorrow, because Tyler Buckner, you saw Tyler Buckner's shoulder. Yes, which is, we didn't talk about that. So it's going to be a challenge, man.
It's going to be a big challenge.
It's going to be a challenge.
What is the rule, though, real quick?
Quick.
What's the rule of the portal? Can someone transfer?
I don't think you can transfer during the season. I don't think you can transfer during the season. That's the whole thing.
Know.
Yeah, because look at it. I mean, you have somebody who, played their first couple of games and then they decided,
I'm gonna bounce. Coach bench me.
Either that or we just suffered 2 losses. Let me go to a team that got some wins. So, all right, let's
go to 6.
Let's see if we have number 6, or is it 5?
It's 6. The Kevin Butler.
Number 6, Oklahoma.
Kent State, I mean, I was hoping for a good game. Their next game was going to be in Nebraska. I was hoping for a great matchup with Oklahoma and Nebraska, but you mentioned before Scott Frost got fired after losing to a team in the Sun Belt, which was Georgia Southern. Somebody's talked about having, I want to say, I forgot how many yards that Georgia Southern had, but it was like 1,000 or something like that. It was ridiculous.
Cherie could look it up.
It was ridiculous. But But I mean,
Georgia Southern versus Nebraska, the offensive output. What was the number?
I mean, I just don't like talking about kind of like them playing Kent State, right? Because it's
Right.
like, I mean, what are we going to talk about? But the idea that Brent Variables is able to kind of get this team together. It's his team now.
Yep.
And he wound up getting a kid. I think he was in the transfer portal, maybe. It was a kid from Hawaii. I don't know if he played at Hawaii, but he's from Hawaii. And he wound up throwing up some good numbers. So,
yeah, they're a team a lot of people were on the the line with. They don't know what to expect.
Right.
Obviously, with Lincoln going to USC, taking the quarterback with them, other players bouncing. Oklahoma so far, again, to your point, Kent State, but in this day and age, we can't even say that because
I know exactly
of what's going on with the transfer portal, as well as these Sun Belt and smaller school conferences stepping up to the plate, except for UConn. But anyway, here we go. Number 5.
Clemson.
So we have got to talk about this. So everybody's down on DJU. I mean, I'm gonna jack the name up again.
We never get his name right.
Yeah. This is called DJU, as everybody else is calling it. And I'm not trying to do that out of disrespect.
No.
I just can't pronounce it correctly. Everybody's talking about that he should sit. Well, what do you think?
I have never seen him make me feel like he's the guy that he's been hyped to be. We talked about it last week, getting Ron Paulus on, because he came in with a lot of hype and a lot of pressure. This kid, same thing. And DJ, however we say, I'm with you, Chris. Can't say his last name because I can't see him holding me like comfortable. I remember Iowa having these quarterbacks. You're a good football team, but you're held back by your quarterback's inability to make a play. Michigan, same thing for year. Your quarterback's holding you back. You got to have somebody that's going to deliver in critical times. And we always shake our heads that how could they not get these guys? This kid has came in with all the hype, but he's not delivered the promise. Now he's worked on his body. He's lost weight because he totally was way too heavy last year. This year,
all I remember is that he beat the crap out of. He almost beat the crap out of Notre Dame when he was a freshman. When Trevor Lawrence was out for 2 games last year, or no, a couple of years ago. It was either 1 or 2 games. Just happened to be Notre Dame, and they were ranked number 1 at the time. They want to beat
him. He hit that one big play.
Dude, he had like 495 yards.
Yeah, but a bunch of bubble screens. They were just
well, they all add up to about 500 yards.
But I never felt like this guy has shown me he can read the coverages and deliver footballs down the field. That's my scouting eye on him. I would not. And I know Rich is saying it's a lot of pressure, but hey, welcome. You write your own story. I don't give a crap what college you go to. Caught myself, Chris.
No.
You got to go out there and write your story. So every quarterback that goes to Michigan's got to be Tom Brady? No. You got to be who you are. And I haven't seen it from him. And I would, based on the talent of that team, I would be talking about a quarterback competition, no doubt in my mind, because the kid they brought in, you could just see athletically.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, let's go to number 4. Do you have any other thoughts?
I do not. They'll play Louisiana Tech next week. It's not going to be a huge test, but maybe the other guy will have a chance to get in there and throw some yards.
Let's go to number 4 for Sharif.
Number 4, Michigan.
Oh, snap. put up 56 points.
Yes.
56. And so now there was a quarterback controversy there, right? But apparently
They're beginning to look a lot.
probably got the job then, huh?
It's looking like there's going to be a change. The eyeball test, Chris, you just feel the team feels a little bit more comfortable with the other guys.
He was talking about it's biblical and shit. So, which that kind of threw me off a little bit.
That was last week's.
That was last week.
16 poll. We forgot to show that.
Oh, sorry. That's okay.
No, it's okay. This week.
He's busy texting. Yeah.
This week, Michigan number 4.
Yes.
Number 4. What are your thoughts though with Michigan?
I mean, I'm excited. They actually finally got an actual quarterback that they're happy with.
Yeah.
I want to see them do well, man. I mean, I thought they had a great year last year. I think Ohio State is going to just, I mean.
You think Ohio State's going to beat them?
Pardon?
You're feeling Ohio State? Or is this too early for prediction?
Well, it might be too early, but still, I haven't talked about Ohio State yet. So,
teaser coming up.
It may be they may be number 3. How about that?
You want to go to number 3?
Sure.
You said.
Sure.
Number 3, Alabama.
Damn shame. Sorry, man. Sorry. Now, as y'all know, I love me some Alabama. I'm a huge Alabama fan. But you cannot tell me they deserve to be number 1.
I wouldn't tell you that.
I mean, after that performance, unranked Texas team, okay, yes, it's in Texas, but still, I mean, they had a chance to lose that game, and they won. Now, I think the only reason why they won that game was because their damn quarterback, Bryce Young, he has to be he is like Jalen Hurts was, just like calm, man. It could be
I said the
chaos.
same thing.
It could be 1 second left in the national championship game, and you guys are down by 3 points, and he's just looking at it like, all right, I got this. And a lot of people said that a lot of people criticize him about that. They're like, where's the motion? Where's the motion? I mean, you don't want your quarterback to be out there crazy, headbutting people. You want that guy to be calm, cool, and collective, because when the game's online, and he even said it. Bryce said it after the game. He said, "We love games. I mean, granted, they don't like being behind, but he loves games like this because, it just shows how good they are." And the idea that he was out there running the show, and then there was a one play where actually it was funny because I was talking to some folks in the green room. We were watching it, and it was a play where he almost got sacked. Bryce Young almost got sacked. And he went down and his knee almost touched the ground, but it didn't. And he wound up either getting the first down or.
That was the play of the game.
It was a freaking play of the game, man.
That's there. The 4th down. That was 4th down. The game's on the line.
Come on.
Dude, I know I brought him up last week. I got to bring him up again because that's my comp. It's Jake Plummer. I've witnessed guys. I don't know what happened with Jake with his love of the game. And there was almost Shane talks about it as well as I guess it was in a book that the Bears were going to draft Jake Plummer, trade for him, sign him, and stuff didn't work out. He ended up going to Denver. But the reality is, when I look at Scott, there's a certain cerebral calmness. Joe Montana, Jake Plummer, more recently for me watching it. This kid, Bryce Young, is unflappable. It's like the moment everything's slowed down. And that play right there, if he gets sacked, game over.
Oh, game over.
That's
game
it.
Over.
That kid he's coming in clean off that.
Oh, my God. Yes.
And that kid must have 16 minutes of sleep. Probably. just keeps
Oh,
dreaming
yeah.
about that play
That
over
guy,
and over.
yeah.
I don't even
So
want to say his name.
there's a famous hit that, and I've talked about this too, Cornelius Bennett, and actually also Steve Berline as well. But there's this great hit that Cornelius Bennett, the amazing defensive end for Alabama, and also obviously the Bills, NFL, and everything. But he had this amazing hit on Steve Berline. I think it was 86 or 87. It was just it's a crazy hit. Like literally, you can look it up if you Google Cornelius Bennett and Steve
Berline.
I think it's even called The Sack, I think. But I mean, it's just freaking amazing. Anyway, that guy, and he's gonna have nightmares because that wound up being called The Sack, and it's like literally like this mainstay. It's this unbelievable image of college football. He could have had that same image, but whoop, you know, I mean, all Bryce did was like boop. He dipped down a little bit, and just it was like whoof.
Instinctive. It's crazy.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Crazy.
So, but they still almost lost. So that's the reason why they're number 3. They dropped one spot to number 3. So who's number 2?
Number 2, Ohio State.
Oh, damn.
Uh-oh. Here we go.
So now, is this my bias that I don't like Ohio State because I think they should be number 1? No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. They almost lost to Notre Dame, who was ranked 5 at the time. I didn't think was supposed to be there. I'm sorry, it was ranked 7 in my poll, but 5 in other polls. I didn't think should have been there. So, and then they also beat Arkansas State, versus another team who wound up dominating. But I think that it was great that we finally had a chance to kind of see the receivers blossom. The one receiver, unfortunately, is still out. I forgot who he was. I forgot his name, but we had a chance to watch CJ Stroud do well again. He had over 350 yards. Definitely going to be in the Heisman watch. We forgot to talk about Bryce Young and his Heisman, but I mean, the idea that you have some great quarterbacks this year, it's going to be really hard for someone not a quarterback to win the Heisman.
It's going to be interesting. Ohio State, I would have Michigan too in my power poll.
That's okay.
But I just
you
have Ohio State.
They were ranked higher than Ohio State in the first poll.
I know.
Why? Because they spanked that ass. Well, no. Michigan spanked Ohio State's ass last year, so they started off above.
But now Ohio State's above at number 2.
Who's Michigan played? They played Hawaii. Who was their first game against? Colorado State?
Colorado State. That's right.
Okay, come on, bro. At least
any Saturday, Chris.
Okay, all right. Now, okay, great. But at least Ohio State can say that they beat a ranked Notre Dame team. Wow. Okay. That's how it's going to be, huh? Okay. All right. That is reason why Ohio State is ranked above Michigan.
There you go.
Yeah,
people are going to want to know.
You got Colorado State and Hawaii.
Okay, you explained it.
The only reason why now had Michigan beat Clemson or something like that, absolutely, let's do this.
Yeah,
but they beat Colorado State.
I hear you. I wanted an explanation.
And Hawaii, but that's fine. I'll be more than happy to argue.
You got it.
To discuss.
You make a great point. They beat. Who did they play this past weekend, Ohio State?
They played Arkansas State.
Arkansas State. Hawaii, Colorado State, Arkansas State, Notre Dame. Notre Dame lost to Austin Peay. I mean, Marshall.
State
so there you go. You got Hofstra's bringing their football program back. So, hey, I'm sure your boy Rick is a big fan of me.
Yes.
So I had to keep it 100 with you. I personally would put Michigan 2.
Okay.
But I see where you're coming from. You've explained it. And let me tell you,
Yes.
there's not a guy I trust more than Chris Zorich when it comes to no bias. He probably would rank Notre Dame State over Notre Dame right there.
Hey man, you gotta be honest, man.
Let's go to number 1, Chris.
Number 1, Georgia.
Can somebody please put Stetson Bennett on the damn Heisman watch, please?
Oh my God.
Because, dude, come on, man. Another 300-yard game. I mean, this dude, it would be, forget Rudy, forget the Marshall. I mean, this is a great, I mean, not forget Marshall. I didn't mean to say that, but this is a great football story. This is and I think I showed you last time. I took a picture of it. It was like first year scout squad. Next year went to junior college. He came back. The coach was like, yeah, I should have stayed there. He sat the bench behind Fromm, sat the bench behind what's his face? The guy who he
Justin
just played.
Fields.
No. He transferred to he transferred because
JT Daniels.
Yes. Behind him, he gets the injury. He comes in, takes it to the promised land, and now he has a full offseason with them. Man, he would be my number, and only because, I mean, I would rank him above like Bryce Young, which is hard to do, Caleb Williams, CJ Stroud, just because of like who they compete against, what he had to overcome, right? I mean, none of those guys had to transfer to a junior college. None of those guys were on the scout squad. I mean, this is an amazing, amazing story. And I just hope that keep on winning. He keeps on throwing up those numbers, so they're going to have to force him to put him into the Heisman watch.
Even though it helps that they have a defense, like Richard's saying, I have to agree with Chris. There's something to be said about a determination of somebody that is unwilling to back down from competition. We've seen it with Tom Brady, 6th round pick, can't do it, can't throw the ball. And it's not hindsight. It's just the reality. Like, he decided that he's going to be great and I'm going to work that hard. This kid is of that same cloth. And you could just see it. There's something to be said about it. I'm totally with you. I've had debates with people, former people that worked with me. Like, you're never going to tell me. It's like, Kenny Pickett's not a first-round quarterback. Yeah, he is in my book because of these. This kid is an NFL quarterback in my book for everything Chris is talking about, as well as the anticipation throws, because I don't care if a guy could throw 70 yards. Is he anticipating accuracy? Stetson does it time and time again. And there's something to be said about that, on top of having those, I hate to use the sneaky athletic, but he's beyond that. He's athletic as a quarterback. He can run, he can move, he can continue and do plays that are off script. And we can't punish a guy for where he plays or who he plays with. Does he deliver? Because go look at the conversation 4 of Chris's picks ago, the kid from Clemson. Can he deliver to all that talent? They got a great defense. Right? So football is the ultimate team sport. Quarterback is the most important position. You got one here. I'm totally with you, Chris, and it's the right call. Number 1 team in the land, there.
And then I also think that even with, folks who are watching, even if you didn't play sports, I mean, there's been a moment in your life where you've been defeated, and you've accepted that, and you're like, hey, you know what? I'm just going to do something else. Well, here's a kid who was defeated, who said, no, you know what? I don't care.
Gonna be
And
25 next week, Chris.
come on, man. Like this, you can't. And I love hearing stories about this because let's say he blows out his knee or he gets his leg amputated. This guy is going to be so successful in life because he was successful in this short period of time in the years that we had a chance to see him. I mean, he's going to be a CEO of some company someday, or he's going to do something amazing because all of these traits that he learned, which I'm pretty sure he had before. Exactly. And he's looking at it saying, okay, cool. You know what? It's adversity. And this is what I talked about before with Notre Dame about leadership. I mean, how do these guys on the team not follow that guy? I mean, you want to talk about the idea of leadership, and how do these coaches feel? Some of the same coaches told his ass to go back to the junior college. And now he won a national championship for him.
The ultimate story there. It's for Disney. Should be writing it.
Love it. Anyway, so Heisman, they played Samford. They have another game against South Carolina. You know, I'm just going to watch him. I'm just going to have a little asterisk by his name and kind of talk about him every week, because not that I have a Heisman vote, but I would have voted for him number one. Right now.
We got to get you one.
You yes, hey, man. We
started off with Super 16. Super 16. Now he's on national TV in a kilt.
Hello.
Tomorrow he'll be doing McDonald's commercials.
Tomorrow I have an NBC vote. I actually did a McDonald's commercial before.
Did you?
Yeah, a long time ago.
What was it about?
Many moons ago.
You can't say that without.
It was a Halloween McDonald's commercial.
And what happened?
It was.
Were you dressed up as the Hulk? What were you doing?
I was not. It was, if I can recollect, I think it was me and Alonzo Spellman were in the commercial.
Oh my God.
Yes. I can't find it though. I've tried to find it, but I think it's on like one of the VHS tapes in the.
Someone probably has it in Chicago.
Let's hope they do.
And if you do, send it to TTNL.
Yes, please.
We can watch Chris's Halloween 10-piece McNugget deal. Speaking of 10-piece, let's go to 5 pieces.
Great segue. I like that. So I would like to rip up my top 5 from last year, because I was like, you know what? I don't think it's going to be any good games. So you just throw that out the window. However, my number 1 game, of course, is going to be what?
Number 1?
Yes.
Gotta be USC. No?
Uh-oh. Troy App State. Yes. Number 1, Troy App State.
Number 1.
Yes.
Troy.
I want to, dude. Hey, man. I'm jump on the App State bandwagon, man.
Big
because
App
you know
State
it's going to be nuts. You know, and they probably got a stadium that fits like 30,000 or like 45 or something like that. And it's going to be rocking. They're going to have like 80,000 people there for game day. So I think it's going to be a great one.
The App State. What is their
I think
nickname?
They're the
I had it this afternoon. The App State Appalachians.
I have no idea.
No.
But I guarantee you, once again, I was telling my guys there at the game. Yeah.
No, go ahead. I was
telling my guys at the game that the App State website is probably going to crash because no one knows like who the hell they are. Everybody went to go see who they were, so they're like, "Oh my god!" And then they're
is App State ranked nationally?
Whoa,
the Mountaineers.
Whoa, hold on. Yes, yeah, they're ranked 16. Did you not pay attention
to you? Yes, on our show, with National College Football Analyst Chris Zorich of NBC Sports Kilt segments. The Kilt,
yes, sir, exactly.
The Kilt segment. Yeah, 16.
If they're not smart enough, it's them. My second game is Miami, Texas A&M.
There you go.
Absolutely.
Miami, Texas A&M.
Yes.
9 o'clock.
Hello. Big game.
9 o'clock East.
Then I got Oklahoma and Nebraska because I want to see how Nebraska bounces back from all this craziness, right?
Have they announced the interim coach yet?
I think it's like one of the assistants. I think maybe even be the offensive coordinator. But this is, as you probably can tell, I've been through some adverse things in my life, so I'd like to see how people react.
Yes.
In adverse situations, because I think that's really kind of talks about their character, what they've learned, but a little bit more importantly, how you bounce back, right? I mean, if you get socked in the jaw and you get knocked down, you get back up. And that's what I like to see. And so it's a lot of, so if they show up against, I'm not saying that they're going to beat Oklahoma, but if they show up and have a competitive game, then, I mean, I'm excited for that program. But if they go out and get walloped, you have no pride, man.
No pride. That's going to be important to see. I wonder how negative the Scott Frost era was, his energy, over these guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, was it one of those things that the coach was impeding? Because it felt like that. He was on the cusp of getting fired many a time. He left Florida, what was it, Central Florida? UCF, thank you. In the middle of the night, like Baltimore with the Colts. Lane did the same thing to Tennessee back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
So he left being a big shot, and then that karma comes smacking on some people. So that's good to see.
Well,
I don't know him.
Well, I want to kind of see how that all shook out, because I mean he won a national championship for them,
right?
And so, like,
came
for a while
back
there,
home.
he could do no wrong. So I was wondering, I mean, like, why it didn't work out? How did it not work out? I mean, was he not getting the kids in there? Were they not paying attention? I mean, it's just interesting. You would think that someone who freaking won a national championship, who's your quarterback, would come back and get those damn guys fired up.
App State.
Yes, sir. So the next game is USC Fresno State. Just want to see
USC.
Yeah, I want to see what's
Chris
going on there. Is it real? I am. I'm excited about them. And my last game.
Can't have that Fresno State in the middle of the night on ESPN letdown.
Exactly. Because if it is, man, it can't happen. No, it's going to be like Cincinnati was last year. Like, everything just kind of fell in place. They kind of got a weaker schedule now. All of a sudden, they're going to go undefeated. Then now you're going to have to say, whoa, this is the first time we're going to actually have like a competitive Pac-12 team in the in the Final Four. That'd be interesting. So who's my last game?
Who is the last game?
Thinking about overcoming adversity and tests of will and everything else.
Notre Dame.
Hello, Notre Dame.
Notre Dame.
Yes. We're going to see how these guys bounce back. Can Marcus Freeman get those guys fired up to go out and like literally rip some folks' heads off and keep the boot on the throat?
Can he do it?
Will
he do it?
No, it's not. I think he will. It's just, I think he took some hard hits, and I think it's going to be hard for. This has nothing to do with Notre Dame game, but okay, thank you.
You, Notre Dame, the energy, the
kill. He just wanted to show my wife again. That's what it was. Oh,
this was Chris after the game.
Yes, it was. However, it actually wasn't. If you would have watched the post-game show.
The post-game show
on NBC.
NBC Sports.
And the National Broadcasting Company.
Yes.
And Peacock. You would have seen my little hey, there you go.
Wait, do we have it? Our producer.
Hey, Jerry, look, it's number 90, Alonzo Spellman. You're doing your homework, Perry program. Watch this. Hey,
look at this.
I bet you McDonald's Quarter Pounder Club would taste really good right now, huh? Freddie famished? Mr. McHungry? Here he comes, Jerry.
McDonald's new taste of the month is the Quarter Pounder Club Sandwich. A quarter pound of juicy beef with bacon, tomato, mayo, and lettuce. Try it with fries and a Coke for a limited time only.
Hey, Jerry, that Alonzo sure is a little quicker than we thought, huh?
Hey, he's a regular Sammy Speedster, isn't he? Mr. Spellman, Uncle.
Where's Spellman? Where's Zorich?
You know what? Actually, it was a Coke commercial. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I forgot that.
Cherie thought she had struck
commercial.
gold.
No, you did. I hadn't seen that commercial in like 30,000 years. That's awesome.
Alonzo Spellman.
Yes.
Where is he now? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, that's a rough situation. I have no idea where it's at, but I was getting all fired up talking about my.
They thought they found the
show.
McDonald's commercial.
I thought I was in that one, but it was a Coke commercial.
It's a Coca-Cola commercial, guys.
Yeah.
Next week.
Next week.
On the Super 16 Poll Show.
We will
the Chris Zorich Coca-Cola commercial.
Coca-Cola commercial.
Sugar-free Coke.
Hello.
Listen, you did it. App State.
Hello.
Tennessee. Baylor. Kentucky. Ole Miss. Arkansas at number 11. Miami, 10. 9. Michigan State.
Oh, there's
8.
a number 8.
8. Russian Ronnies. Oklahoma State Cowboys. 7. USC. 6. Oklahoma. 5. Clemson. 4. Michigan. 3. Alabama. 2. Ohio State. And number 1, Georgia.
Love it.
Chris
Love it.
Zorich. Every week he gives you his top 16. He gives you the 5 games he tells you he's going to be watching that you should be watching. And before we end the show, he always gives you his final thoughts. But before he does that, we got to pay some bills. This week on Keeping It 100,
hey,
Hall of Famer, first ballot, wasn't a 3-time All-American like Chris. He was a 1-time, I believe, but they both were Walter Camp All-Americans, and I met them both in New Haven. Brian Urlacher will be on Keeping It 100 this Wednesday night.
Nice.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Have you ever met Brian?
I have. So here's something interesting. I've been mistaken. So tell me how this works out.
Oh, jeez.
So, I love the fact that I am of 2 races. My mom was white, my dad was black.
Yes.
Sometimes folks don't see that in me, but that's fine. So I've been mistaken for Brian Urlacher a bunch of times, right?
Really?
Okay. Which is fine. I mean, I'm 5'11" with high heels on, and he's 6'4", whatever. But I'm cool with that. But then there's been a couple of times where people come to me and said, "Are you William Perry?"
Oh boy!
And I'm like, "What? Like
the fridge?
The fridge?"
You should be like, you're looking at the fridge. I'm the rookie. I may be large, but I'm no dumb cookie.
There you go.
I would love
that's so interesting. I get Brian Urlacher.
How do you get both ends of the spectrum? You're just everywhere.
That's what I'm saying.
Coach Ditka.
Right, exactly.
Coach Ditka.
Well, that is
your
awesome.
Cigar.
Right, exactly. It's like, what the hell?
Oh my God. I'll be sure to tell him about that on Wednesday night.
Yes.
We'll play that clip for him. I'll have some laughs with that. But Chris, your final thoughts.
So I have a real final thought, but my almost final thought was like, I think just the way that the Sun Belt just kind of took over this week, I think it just makes it more exciting for college football. And I just want to mention that. Sam Hartman, the quarterback for Wake Forest, had some serious issues a couple weeks ago. Had some rare blood clots or something like that. It was really serious. He was able to bounce back from it. He was out for several weeks. Came back and beat Vanderbilt and threw for 300 yards. Again, you talk about determination. You're talking about overcoming some adversity.
Wow.
And often we think about, situations like that where, you talk about something that could be life-threatening, and then all that comes in perspective, but then somebody's able to kind of work through that. And I'm not saying that in every situation a football player is going to come out on top. But he was able to work through it and really find a way. And now he was able to get back in the starting position and beat a team that threw for 300 yards, beat an SEC team. I mean, how awesome is that?
Unbelievable story. And I think me and you obviously are somewhat from the same cloth. This guy is one of the great football players of all time, of my life. He doesn't like to get that kind of praise, but I was a fan of Chris. But I also am built from that same cloth where the underdog or the person that has to overcome this adversity and shows the kind of empathy and humanity in this great game. The difference between a good football player and a great one usually comes from the love of the game. Do they love the game? If they do love the game, that Coach Eberflus's hits philosophy and Loaf's philosophy becomes a challenge, not a burden. You want to make yourself the best. I think the coaches that push you to be the best and don't give out awards are always the best. And I think Chris is a testament to that. And I look forward to every Monday night breaking this stuff down with you, the fun, the banter, and also the camaraderie of the rivalries that are built up on this show, from Notre Dame fans to Alabama, Clemson, all you fans out there that obviously love this game. And if you don't love Chris Zorich, go to another show. I don't know what to tell you, because I can't wait to see the Coca-Cola commercial.
Yeah, I hope I can find it. Yeah.
Cherie was able to pull Alonzo Spellman's that famous actor was in the commercial too. I go, I know this guy. He always plays that same kind of guy, the Italian guy in that commercial. I can't remember. But Chris, before we sign off, I'd be remiss. I would have dropped the ball if I didn't ask you one real quick story. Do we have a real quick drop? I think we do have a real quick. Real quick. Green Bay Packer week. Bears versus Packers. You grew up a Bears fan. You grew up in the city. You know the importance of it. Is there any Packer story you can share? I put you on the spot.
So the idea of kind of like what a rivalry is, kind of I've learned with the Bears and Green Bay as a kid watching, right? Just as every other Chicago Bear fan, right? Mm-hmm. And I remember as a kid, maybe it wasn't a kid, maybe it was high school or whatever, but watching I knew what that rivalry meant. So I remember when I think it was Wright slammed Jim McMahon.
Oh yeah.
Right. So I mean, and that was huge. So that was big. But then I also remember
it was Harris, James.
Harris. My bad.
Harris.
Well, then I think Wright is the guy that took Walter Payton over the bench.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So these are situations that I remember as a kid watching. So I knew how crazy and how insane this rivalry was. But when I got to the Bears, I'm like, dude, this is Packer week. And they're like, yeah, it's just another game. I'm like, are you guys nuts? Dude, these are the Green Bay Packers, man. Like, this is crazy. So I always loved having the chance to kind of to understand. Well, first of all, as a fan watching, right. So just imagine. I mean, everybody watching, they're obviously Bear fans, but the idea that you would find yourself in that locker room,
right,
playing, and now you're sitting there going, I remember when I was a kid, I was watching this, and so. For me, it was this historical piece.
Correct.
But the guy, and I was with Ditka for 3 years, so you had some of it, but when Wannstedt came in, it wasn't emphasized. It was just another game, and it was just kind of weird because it's like, man, this is what the NFL was made from, like these types of rivalries. And how could you look at this as just another game? So for me, I just always remember kind of as a fan, as a kid watching, and then remembering kind of what that was like, and then having the chance to actually play for him was just kind of out of my mind. So it was just an awesome experience for me.
Well,
I'm sorry that wasn't real quick, but it was just kind of a really cool experience.
It's awesome and it's very telling. And I think we end there in just saying, if it's okay with you, I just want to like put a bow on what you said, because I think it's important to bring it back to coaching. It's so important. I know Lovey came and said what he said. It's about beating Green Bay, and there's something important about that. But what you said was even more important, because it's what this great sport is built on, rivalry. So it's up to the head coach and his staff and everybody to deliver that message and get out that, because as you said, you know, Dick was at the end, there was adversity with the McCaskies, all that bullshit and politics were involved. As you're coming in, you're having to see, but then you're having this be labeled as just another game. And when it's just another game, what's the culture anyway?
Right.
Every game's just another game. So what are you doing? You gotta understand how to tap into rivalry and pageantry and tradition. If you don't, you're missing the whole enchilada, as they would say.
Well,
but,
you know, and think about it. I mean, an easy way to do it, let's say Eberflus doesn't really kind of, you know, he's, I don't know. I mean, just go back and just play those 2 clips or play the videos from back in the day. And let them understand, like, hey, this isn't just another game. This isn't the Jacksonville Jaguars. This isn't, you know, Tampa Bay. I mean, these are the founding members of this damn great game we have here, and this is what it was like.
And the whole city,
and big buckets and all that. Right, exactly.
The whole fan base is living off of this. This isn't 2 mayors from opposing towns betting on that. This is
buying pizza for each other.
Yeah, this is reality. Live and die, eat and breathe this game and this rivalry. It matters, and it's up to you to make it matter. Hopefully it does, as well as the college football rivalries continue to matter for those fan bases. I think for some reason Eberflus gets it, and we'll see. As the Bears go Sunday night, me and Shane will be covering it live with my father, Coach O. Bears Hour Live will be live right after the game in prime time. I know Shane's looking forward to the late night schmooze. For Chris Zorich and Cherie, the producer, Alonzo Spellman's McDonald's ad.
His cameo.
We'll be back next week on the Super 16
show.
I love it. Thanks for watching the Super 16 Poll Show with Chris Zorich. Like, subscribe, and comment. This has been a special presentation of the Tape Never Lies Network. Performance over politics.